Room. I'm Nancy, and it is 3:03 in the afternoon of November the 12th. It is my sister's birthday. She's 30 something. 30 something. I think she's 32, 33, 34. I don't know. She's 30 something. Anyway, today's her birthday. Alrighty. So we are going to the Hart family takes a drive and finds out tragically that you can drive off of the edge of the earth. There's an edge. Sit, fall into the Pacific Ocean. I'm making a joke out of it, but it's something serious. It really did happen. All right, so let's pull. Yeah, that sounds about right because you're 36, right? 37. And she's younger than you are. Something like that. Anyway. You're 37. Okay, yeah. You just had birthday in July. So, all right. I know she's younger than you and Glenda, for sure. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the Hart Family. Oh, yeah, they are. And his birthday was in May or something. Oh, I don't remember. Anyway, too many people to keep up with. Can't keep up with myself. Okay, so the Hart family tragedy, a summary. The Hart family tragedy refers to a horrific red rum. Yeah, that's right. He is because you were 3 when you were adopted, and they got pregnant during the adoption. See, you got great writing. You give me things to look at and remember. So it's like having a fixed location for next time you drive somewhere. You can say, "Oh, there's the dog on the pooping in the yard. I see it. Okay, I got to turn left here." So a landmark. That's what it is. A landmark. You give me landmarks. That's how I do my life by landmarks. Okay. So anyway, my muscle relaxers make me sleepy, but I'm also sitting in front of the computer. I found out this morning I was going to take all the items that were listed on my website and put them back on eBay. But for some reason, eBay says that I have to update my bank information. Now, they can take the $21.69 out of my account every month, charge my account $21.69, take money out, but they can't use the same account information to put money back in every time I make a sale. So, I mean, now I have to wait for them to send me 2 cents today and 3 cents tomorrow so that I can go on and tell them you sent me 2 cents and 3 cents so I can verify my bank account. How dumb. They can take money out. They just took money out last week, but they can't put money back in. And they delisted everything I had on eBay because they couldn't make a sale for me. That's the second time in a year that they've delisted everything off of eBay. So, okay. So, the Hart family tragedy refers to a horrific red rum and self-inflicted incident on March 26, 2018 in Mendocino County, California, where Jennifer Hart, 38, deliberately drove the family's GMC Acadia SUV off of a 100-foot cliff into the Pacific Ocean, unaliving herself, her wife Sarah, who was 39, and 5 of their 6 adopted children. I think I have that. Okay. This says it was Sierra was 12, Abigail was 14, Jeremiah was 14, Devontae was 15, Hannah was 16, and Marcus is 19. Jennifer intentionally drove their sports utility vehicle, this red car. That's a Jeep. That's not a GMC. Okay, anyway. Off of a cliff, unaliving everyone in the family. Jennifer was in the driver's seat and Sarah was in the front passenger seat. Um, Jennifer Jean Hart, June 4th, 1979 to March 26, 2018, and Sarah Margaret Hart, April 8th, 79 to March 26, 2018. Nieglener, I don't know what that. We're both from South Dakota. Jennifer originated from Huron and Sarah from Big Stone City. Although some sources claim Ontario, Minnesota. What happened there? Am I still here? For some reason, it just kicked me out of the studio. Can you still see me? Okay. Then this was about their adoption, about living. in, okay, good. They lived in Minnesota. In 2008, while the family was living in Minnesota, a teacher observed bruises on Hannah's left arm and was told she had been hit by Jennifer with a belt. Within months, all six kids had been pulled out of public school system for a year. In 2010, Abigail said that she had owies on her back and stomach and stated that she felt threatened by the Harts, who had beaten her and held her head in cold water over a penny they assumed had been stolen. A penny? Oh my goodness. When authorities became involved, all children claimed that they had been spanked constantly and deprived of food. Sarah took responsibility for the abuse, pled guilty to assault, and was sentenced to community service for a year. A year later, Hannah reportedly told a school nurse that she had not eaten all day. Sarah claimed that Hannah was merely playing the food card and commented that she'd just been given water. Soon afterward, all six children were taken out of public schools and were homeschooled from then on. In Oregon, the, in 2013, Oregon authorities were notified of the abuse allegations in Minnesota. Their investigation includes separate interviews of everyone in the family, as well as interviews of people who knew the family. Two family friends stated that the children were forced to raise their hand before speaking, could not wish each other a happy birthday, and could not laugh at the dinner table. There were other reports that the children were poorly fed and looked small for their ages. One family friend reported that Jennifer had ordered a pizza for the children, but each was only allowed to have a small slice. When Jennifer discovered that the pizza was gone, she punished the children by not feeding them breakfast and forcing them to lie on their bed for 5 hours. Friends also stated that the children acted scared to death of Jen and likened them to trained robots. However, in interviews of the children themselves revealed no new incidents of abuse, nor did they mention anything that had happened in Minnesota. When Jennifer herself was interviewed, she claimed that any family problems were the result of others not being tolerant to two lesbian mothers with six African American children. In the end, the investigation could not conclude whether the Harts were guilty of anything or whether there was a safety threat. In Washington, in August of 2017, after the Harts had since moved to the Woodland, Washington area, Hannah jumped out of her second-story bedroom window at around 1:30 a.m. and approached the residence of her next-door neighbor, the DeKalbs. Hannah reportedly pleaded, "Don't make me go back. They're racist and they abuse us." Soon afterwards, the Harts found Hannah and took her back home. The following day, Jennifer attempted to explain the incident by claiming that Hannah was lying, that the children occasionally acted out because they were rug babies, and that Hannah's biological mother was bipolar. After this incident, the DeKalb family came into contact with Devontae, who constantly begged for food and asked the DeKalbs not to tell Jennifer about these requests. In later conversations with Devontae, he told them that his adopted mothers withheld food as punishment and that the children were sometimes abused. You can't see what I'm showing you. I'm sorry. I changed pages and I just realized you can't see the page I'm on. All right, there we go. We're down here. Uh, He told them that the adoptive mothers withheld food as punishment and that the children were sometimes abused. This, combined with the earlier incident with Hannah, made the DeKalbs report the Harts to both the police and the Washington State Department of Social and Health Services, DSHS. Caseworkers from DSHS tried to reach the Harts twice, once on March 23, 2018, 3 days before the Red Rums, and once on the day of the Red Rums. The Red Rums. Oops. On March 26, 2018, Jennifer and Sarah Hart red rummed all 6 of the children when Jennifer drove their vehicle, a GMC Yukon XL, over a 100-foot cliff on California State Route 1 in Mendocino County, California, near Westport. The bodies were of the 5 children, Hannah, Marcus, Jeremy, Abigail, and Sierra, were found in or near the vehicle, which had landed upside down on a beach below the cliff. The body of Devontae had not been found as of 2025. A Superior Court judge ruled in 2019 that Devontae was in the vehicle at the time of the crash, and a unalive certificate was signed on April 3rd of that year. Expert analysis of the SUV's internal airbag deploying computer determined that the Yukon had been intentionally driven off the edge of the cliff from a standing stop, accelerating to 20 miles an hour in 3 seconds with the throttle at 100%. A 14-member coroner's jury unanimously ruled the case as a red rum self-inflicted. The inquest was called to determine cause of unaliving, but not any responsibility in the civil or criminal fields. The California Highway Patrol stated that the criminal prosecution was not possible due to the unaliving of any responsible parties. Toxicology results showed that Jennifer's blood alcohol content was over the legal limit at the time of the crash, and that both Sarah and 2 of the children had diphenhydramine in their system. Sarah had made Google searches before the crash inquiring about the lethality of Benadryl and the nature of death by drowning. Her searches also included no-kill shelters for dogs. The family's 2 dogs were found inside the Hart family home. The Mendocino County Sheriff's Department officially closed the case and released disclassified records in 2019. According to an incident report following the red rums, it was reported that Sarah told a co-worker that she wished someone told her it was okay not to have a big family. Then she and Jennifer would not have adopted the children. Rachel Hampton, in Slate, citing the authorities did not resolve the Hart case, stated that the Children Protective Service authorities gave harsher treatments to African American parents and guardians compared to white parents and guardians. In pop culture, an episode of the television series Atlanta was inspired by the Hart case. The episode, called 3 Slaps, had Ladacorius, a character inspired by Devontae. In 2024, novella collection American Spirits author Russell Banks included the story Homeschooling, which fictionalized the Hart family red rums. And this is all the sites where they were, their sources. Okay, we're going to drop this. And then we'll go back to where we were over here. All right. The family's unraveling accelerated in 2017 after moving to Woodland, Washington. A neighbor reported Jennifer abusing the children, withholding food as punishment, triggering a Child Protective Service investigation. Um, Fearing removal of the children, the Harts fled south on March 25, 2018, abandoning their home and pets. A toxicology report later revealed Jennifer had 42 times the legal limit of Benadryl in her system, suggesting impairment. Aftermath and revelations. In 2019, coroner's inquest unanimously ruled the unalivings intentional, with Jennifer as the driver and Sarah complicit. Her phone searches that morning included, "Why did my no contact order fail?" and "Crime Time's punishment." The case exposed deep flaws in the U.S. child welfare system, including lacked interstate adoption oversight and ignored abuse reports from Texas as early as 2013. Documentaries like A Thread of Deceit in 2020 and Broken Hearts in 2021 have since dissected the systematic failures and the Hart's manipulative love bombing tactics. The tragedy remains a stark reminder of hidden family violence and adoption reforms needs, with ongoing discussion in media and policy circles. Okay, this is a white lesbian couple from Minnesota. I already read all that up there. Minnesota had adopted 6 Texas foster siblings in 2006 and 2008 and curated an online image of the perfect vegan homeschooling family. In reality, they subjected the children to severe abuse, starvation, and isolation. Preceding a crash, a 2017 CBS probe in Washington for abuse prompted the Harts to flee. Jennifer was heavily impaired by Benadryl, 42 times the legal limit. The 2019 inquest ruled in a red rum, self-inflicted, exposing U.S. children welfare failures in adoption oversight. Documentaries Broken Hearts 2021 and books We Were Once a Family in 2022 highlight systematic issues and the Harts' manipulation. Okay. This is a very sad story. But what we do know is that you can drive off the edge of the earth. Didn't say you would survive it, but you could do it. All right. Jury rules Hart parents intentionally unalived their 6 adopted kids. Let's see what this has to say.
We have every indication to believe that all 6 children were in there. I can tell you it was a very confusing scene because there were no skid marks, there were no brake marks, there was no indication of why this vehicle traversed approximately over 75 feet of a dirt pullout and went into the Pacific Ocean.
Jennifer, the same woman that was in the video from the grocery store, is the woman that we believe was driving the vehicle when it crashed.
They seized a laptop and an iPad, hoping to learn more about their trip. Okay. So, next. Hold, please. you find the soup in the crock pot? Yeah, it's meatball soup. Do you have to work today? Well, go get you some soup. I got crackers too. I had to tell CJ I made meatball soup because he didn't look in the crock pot when he got home. Okay. Okay. Before children's grisly unalivings, a family fought for them and lost. The Hart family's apparent red rum self-inflicted drew headlines, but the path to the tragedy started much earlier in Texas. Okay. This is from Roxanne Asgarian. Two neighbor kids bang on Sherry Davis's door. They've seen her come home and know she can be counted on for handing out little packs of Starburst she keeps nearby. Outside the dingy affordable housing complex in South Houston is overflowing with neighbors. A baby toddles after a young puppy. Several guys hang around their cars. Davis, visibly distraught, gives out some candy, but after she closes the door, her grief overcomes her. She hugs her best friend in the kitchen of her dimly lit apartment, and together they wail. Clarence Celestine, the father of two of Davis's kids, shifts his body to the couch nearby, rubs his hands together, and tries to stay composed. It's April 13, and it's been 2 days since they heard the news of what happened to her children. 2 weeks earlier, 2,000 miles away in Mendocino County, California, a gold Yukon SUV was found at the bottom of a 100-foot cliff. Devontae, Jeremiah, and Sierra, along with their 3 adopted siblings, were believed to have been inside. The bodies of the children's adopted mothers, Jennifer and Sarah, were found in the driver's seat and passenger seat. Police suspect the plunge was intentional after the crash was discovered. Abuse allegations that had followed the family through 3 states and over 10 years began trickling out. Former and harrowing accounts of what had happened to the Davis children since she had last seen them 12 years ago. They don't look very happy. Look like the kids love to play. But even playing, they don't look happy. All right. So next, that was a long story, but it said pretty much the same thing we'd already read on the other page. That's why I didn't read it out loud. Okay, it says a drunk Jennifer Hart drove her 6 adopted children in their family SUV. Her wife Sarah sat in the passenger seat looking up different ways to end a life. The SUV carrying the Hart family would drive off a 100-foot Pacific Coast cliff on that day in March last year. A tragedy police say looked like 8 lives and sparked questions about abuse and homicide. As their car was in motion, Sarah was busy with the searches. How easy can I overdose on over-the-counter medications? something unalive 125-pound woman. I don't know what this. Okay, there's a commercial here that's in my way. Okay, where did it go? Well, anyway, one of her last searches was for no-kill dog shelters. They intended to unalive their 6 children, jury finds. The horrifying details emerged Thursday after a coroner's jury unanimously ruled that the Jennifer Sarah Hart intended to pass away along with their 6 adopted children, Marcus 19, Jeremiah and Abigail, both 14, Devontae 15, and Hannah 16, and Sierra 12. At first, it seemed unfathomable the parents would drive their children from their home in Woodland, Washington, to their life's end in Mendocino County, California. Their social media pages include photos of beaming children holding "Love is always beautiful" signs. In some photos, they had on matching t-shirts and wide grins. As the national spotlight on the story grew, more details emerged that the children desperately sought help from neighbors. Allegations surfaced that their parents abused and starved the 6 adopted children. Here's a.
As much as we appreciate what our mechanics can do and who they are, no one looks forward to seeing the inside of an auto shop. Because if you're here, your car is too. And that means something's wrong. And likely it means an expensive repair bill. That is, unless you've called CarShield. When you call CarShield before your car breaks down, they have plans that cover up to 5,000 parts and systems of your car. Don't wait. Call CarShield today before it's too late.
Call 800-788-2415.
I would imagine.
Where is this investigation right now? Any leads in the search for these 3 missing?
Well, they believe that they were in the car and they were probably swept out to sea. The other 3 children that were killed were not buckled in. They believe the other 3 probably were not either. The cliff is so steep that it went nearly into the Pacific Ocean, and the waves were lapping up into the car and could have pulled other debris out. It is a mystery as to how this happened. One of those missing is a 15-year-old Devontae Hart. He came to national attention in 2014 for a hug during a Black Lives Matter protest in Portland, Oregon. He was seen crying by police officers. The police officer approached him. Then this photo, he hugged the police officer and they had a long conversation. That photo went viral. So the rest is history. Now he and 2 of his sisters are still missing. Just how this happened, though, is very much a mystery. The police and law enforcement says that there were no skid marks, no sign of braking. It's not clear how that SUV went over that very steep embankment along the Pacific Coast Highway, this rough but absolutely gorgeous part of California.
And tell us more about this Hart family. Neighbors say they had their suspicions?
Well, neighbors say that the children, Devontae and others, had come over looking for food at different points and had burst into the house saying that their mother was beating them. It is not clear how much of that is true. We do know that there was a referral to Child Protective Services in Washington State on Friday when officials from CPS went over to the house to check on the children. They didn't find anybody there. Then they checked Monday and Tuesday, didn't find anyone then as well. So it is all part of this mystery as to why this family was so far away from home, over 500 miles away from home when this terrible accident happened.
So, we still don't know why she got intoxicated to build her courage. The coroner inquest gave more insight into what led to Jennifer and Sarah to end the lives of all 8 Harts. When authorities entered the Harts' home, it seemed neat, orderly, and newly remodeled, said investigator Jake Slates from California Highway Patrol. But while Jennifer and Sarah's were decorated, Slates said the children's rooms were bare. There was no sign that the children lived in the Hart family home, report says. Wow. Investigators noted that their luggage was left behind and the family did not take their toothbrushes before leaving for 2 days. In my opinion, Sarah and Jennifer succumbed to a lot of pressure, said Lieutenant Shannon Barney of Mendocino County Sheriff's Office. They got to the point where they made a conscious decision to end their lives and take their children with them. As Jennifer drove down US 101 highway, she had 5 beers in her system, enough to make it difficult for her to function. According to Slate's witness told police that Jennifer rarely drank. The theory is that she drank to build up her courage, Slate said. My feeling is based on talking to witnesses that they felt they couldn't have those kids. No one was going to have those kids, Slate said. The kids sought help in the middle of the night. Days before the family died in the crash, Children's Protective Service in Washington requested a welfare check on the family, but no one answered the door on March 26th. The family was already gone. Calls to the police began just 2 years after the Harts became parents. While they were living in Minnesota, they were first called in 2008 when one child told an adult that Jennifer struck the child in the arm, but the state closed the case claiming the child fell. After another call in 2011, Sarah Hart pleaded guilty to domestic assault after admitting to police that she bruised her child by spanking her over the edge of the bathtub. After the family moved to Woodland, Washington, the children started going to their neighbor Bruce to call for help and food in the middle of the night. According to the case report, the children also complained of racist behavior. Witness told California Highway Patrol that the children were extremely disciplined, almost to the point of being robotic, walking single file to the bedroom and being told when to go to the bathroom. Slate says on March 23rd, DeKalb called CPS to check on the family. The next day, they packed up the SUV and began their drive from Washington to California. Questions remain on the abuse oversight. At first, only Jennifer and Sarah and 3 children were identified. Jennifer was intoxicated, and Sarah and 2 of the children testified positive for diphenhydramine, an active ingredient in Benadryl. Sierra's body was found on the beach north of the cliff 2 weeks later. Parts of a foot and a shoe were found on the beach that May, but investigators couldn't identify the remains as a Hart child until January of this year when a DNA sample proved it was Hannah. Devontae is still missing, and while they believe he perished with his brothers and sisters, authorities are hoping the public can provide information to prove them wrong, as in hoping that Devontae is still alive, which that would be nice, but think of what he's going through knowing that his siblings didn't make it.
When your money is spread across multiple accounts, it's hard to see your full financial picture. You can count on Credit Karma to bring it all together. Because when you connect your accounts, you'll reveal new ways to save more, improve spending habits, and pay down debt with extra funds. The more you connect, the more we show you how to grow your money. Download Intuit Credit Karma to get started.
grim update meantime in the investigation into a troubled family's mysterious and fatal SUV crash off a California cliffside involving 2 parents and 6 adoptive children. The Mendocino County Sheriff's Office now says a body was found in the Pacific Ocean surf near the crash site in Westport, California. The body is identified as an African-American female. Still no sign of the free hugs boy. That is 15-year-old Devonte Hart, photographed here hugging a Portland police officer during a 2014 protest. This photo was snapped one day after a grand jury in Ferguson, Missouri decided not to indict a white police officer in connection with the shooting death of 17-year-old African-American Michael Brown. Now, investigators are treating this SUV crash that killed at least 5 members of one family as a crime. Parents Jennifer and Sarah Hart were found inside the SUV last month. The bodies of 3 of their adopted children were found on the rocks and in the water.
Well, that's sad. So, at the end of the day, we don't know what happened to Devonte. And I hope he sees this. Okay. Something's going screwy with my StreamYard. Right now it's telling me I need to go live. Am I live? Yeah, I can see me on my phone. So, but it must have been pretty hard in a hard decision to make, to take all their children that they adopted with them as thank you, as they took themselves over that. I couldn't imagine doing that. Well, anyway, I'm sorry that happened. But that's what Grok told me would be a good story to research today. Maybe I didn't. I was trying to put a little bit of humor in the title. You know, some people say the world is round and some people say it's flat. And I'm like, we can actually drive off of the edge of the earth if you go too far east or west. Go too far west, go right down into the Pacific Ocean. But, so, I had never heard of where that county is, but I haven't heard of a lot of things in California. I was born in Southern California, not Northern California. So anyway, I want to thank y'all for being here. Do something nice for someone, even if it's, I don't know if I'll be here tomorrow or not. A friend of mine has to have surgery for 988 if you're experiencing, yes. Anybody who's experiencing thoughts like that should dial 988 so that, because they can help you with whatever it is. If you need help with somebody helping you take care of your children because you're overwhelmed and whatever, or if you feel like you're going to do something to harm yourself, please dial 988 and get the help you need. I knew there was a number for the self-harm hotline, but I didn't know what it was. Thank you, Amanda. All right, so anyway. Let's do something nice for someone, even if it's like I started to say, my friend has to have a hernia surgery tomorrow, and I don't know what time her surgery is supposed to be at, but she asked me to be there. It's not my friend in Hutchinson. It's a friend that lives in El Dorado. She's got to have surgery in Andover. So, okay. So, but I hope to be here. And then my physical therapist starting next week is moving my therapy sessions from 7:45 in the morning to 7:30 in the morning because he has some other clients that need early morning therapy sessions. So he's just, rather than moving me to later in the day, he's moving me down. And I said, but that means you have to come in earlier. He said, I'm here anyway. He said, the way you do your therapy, I can answer my emails that I have to answer in the mornings while you're doing your therapy. So I'm like, okay. And then he gave me another band, for a stronger band, to do my, because I have to hold my arm here and go with my thumb upward like I'm hitchhiking, and go like that. And then I have to take my arm and hold it tight here and go out like that 30 times. And then I have to turn around and go across my body, like hold it here and go. It's got to be attached to something over here. And I got to go across my body like this. And then I got to do my weight back behind like this. And when I take my muscle relaxer medication, it helps me be able to move like that. I still have areas where I can't go straight up and where I can't go back. But see, I'm getting better. But lifting them weights, I'm getting some muscles in my arms. So anyway, do something nice for someone, even if it's be the reason they smile and get lockered. Stop.